It is finally warm enough and nice enough for us to be outside. Miss Terri Trespicio.
Very excited. Hello there.
Yeah. All right, we're here today because we want to talk about how to give a compelling TED Talk. And you are exactly the woman to be able to try and help people achieve that goal.
I do that. I've actually helped a lot of people create and land their TED Talks and other keynote talks and events all over the country. But I had a very successful one that I gave a few years ago.
And what was the topic?
The name of my TED Talk is Stop Searching for Your Passion. Counterintuitive, and it worked.
And how many views did you get?
Close to 4 million right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's, and I know why that idea works, and I know why some ideas don't work.
Okay, that's very important. We're going to cover that. But right now, I want you to tell me about this very important event that's coming up on June 7th and 8th that is going to be your way to teach people how to do this.
Yep, I'm hosting my first live in-person workshop in New York City, June 7th and 8th. And it's specifically for this. How do you find your TED-worthy idea? How do you do that? How do you find the idea that you can do a TED, that you can speak all over the country about, that people will pay you to speak about? Because you think that because you're an expert, you know what to talk about, but people don't. That's why they hire people like me, and I'm going to teach it.
So when I gave mine, I was handpicked for it, and the topic was rethinking failure. And I remember I had to have a storyline coach, I had a speaking coach,
Yep.
and there were a lot of nuts and bolts that went into making that talk a success. And I booked many talks since.
See that?
Now, here's the important part. How does one, I got handpicked, but how does one even get to qualify?
Well, here's the thing, by the way. A lot of people do get handpicked because someone you know might recommend you. Mm-hmm. And some people say to me, well, I'm not ready for a TED Talk. I go, what if TED finds you first? What if someone says, hey, you want to do this talk and you're not ready? You're going to not want to say no, but you won't be ready. So yeah, same with me. I was invited to audition for one remaining spot and I got it. But the other way to get it, if someone doesn't nominate you, is to nominate yourself. You can find the TEDx events happening all over the world. You just Google it. There's a site that TEDx has up. You can search by when they're happening, go to their sites and apply.
Well,
That's the hardest part.
Yeah,
get yourself to apply.
Just being resourceful. Let your fingers do the walking.
The problem is, you might
get apply, but you might get turned away.
Crickets.
So let's talk about this. What is it that you need to do when you apply to make sure that you don't get turned away?
I'll tell you, because I've talked to many organizers. I've recommended people for TED events. I've spoken at more than one. And I've heard from the organizers themselves, the first thing that turns them off is something that's too promotional, sales pitchy. So if they think you're there just to sell something, nope. They're not interested in selling your services. You need to be there to share an idea worth spreading and a story. Meaning you should be there to give an idea away because you want to help other people. If you're there to sell something, nope. Second is if you have a story, maybe you climbed Mount Everest, maybe you survived a burning building. Do you have, what is the meaning of it? If you don't have an idea, then it's just storytelling and that's not a TED Talk. You got to have the thing that happened and what you learned about it. And it can be a small lesson. Or the opposite. Someone has an idea, but they don't have any story to share. You can't have an idea with no story because then there's no way for us to connect to it. And believe it or not, those are the three things. When you're thinking about which is your TED Talk on, think about a lesson you've heard, a lesson you've learned that is not a cliche, that changed the way you see your life and the way you see work, people, relationships, whatever your topic is. But if you didn't discover something in your talk, then no one else will discover anything either. That means it's not a lecture. You can't just be like, preach, preach, preach. Like, here's what you should do. No one wants to hear that.
Yeah.
They want to hear you discover something. That's why I believe everyone has a TED Talk in them.
Okay, so I have a task ahead of me where I have to give a commencement speech at a girls' high school coming up. So you and I might need to do a little bit of work together.
Yes, it's hard to do it yourself.
This is my friend Terri Trespicio, who is coaching folks on giving TED-worthy talks. This is coming up when?
June 7th and 8th, and you can check what Joy's link. She'll share her special link.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about it, there are some seats left, and I encourage people to join us.
And it's happening here in New York City.
That's right. Okay. Come on in to Manhattan in June.
Now, all you have to do is execute on this.
That's true.
Bye.